Mbn, the gospel, news and entertainment.
Mbn Adafitswaa Panyo ye Mbn Anyo afi akpe enyo nwa enyo ke ekpamle na shemo ni shanene wobwana wokeba hani shemo ne keji uti Facebook ke YouTube banya koye Mbn 360 menaja modote shidano babuti sajam ne ha wokwa otie ni shemo ekome
Felix Kwachi Ofosu esa eti amralo hishifo ni iyo Keha Press Freedom Yegana name. Yes, Shikaki Ajawayili Sajin Amuye Ghana Emiam Like Ebejanito Nikudo Crypto Firm Ni SEC Kuwe Egbalam Like Ne Amu Ni Yamazi Sajami Hue Hikers Ete Ebe Fefe Ni Indonesia Volcano Alogo
Sajene meke ekokome ahejino nyebanu ye Mbn Adafitswaa no agbene saje die nchemni botemone Pansolo niko amralo se moi ano nyamo Felix Kwachi Ofosu ewie ake amralo ye hishifo kebabu kechi Adafitswaa lo aheyeli kenuchumo yise ake modembo kewo ke moni makemli hiwale
Career moine shredran ye World Press Freedom Day ni famous shishi ye Ghana ni yo oti shishi ake defending truth in a digital age, journalism, information integrity and democratic resilience in Ghana and the region. Ni famous buame tamo media practitioners alo Adafitswaa policy makers alo gbajanotoloi ke onupai ana ke gbasani ke konuchumo alo gbenani Adafitswaa ke anokwayeli chumo ke buoma amralo gbajanotohi.
Runs on a public that is informed enough to agree, to disagree, and to hold power to account. This year's global theme, Shaping a Future at Peace, Promoting Press Freedom for Human Rights, Development and Security, could not be more urgent for Ghana, for Africa, and for the world. I would, however, speak about the localized theme, which is journalism, information integrity, democratic resilience in Ghana and the region. Let me state this plainly. A government that fears questions has already lost its confidence. And a society that silences journalists has already weakened its democracy. Journalism is not the enemy of governments. Good journalism is actually an ally of good governance. When a reporter investigates a contract gone wrong, they are not attacking the state. They are protecting the taxpayer. When a radio host gives a platform to an opposition voice, they are not undermining stability. This truth play out repeatedly, from the exposures that led to procurement reforms, to the community radio stations that gave voice to farmers during the dry season, to the fact checkers who counted falsehoods during our last election. The press has been a guardian of our public interests. Today, on behalf of the government of Ghana, I reaffirm our commitment to protect the safety of journalists, to uphold media pluralism, and to ensure that no reporter is harassed, detained, or threatened for doing their lawful work. We will continue to implement the Right to Information Act in full.
British High Commissioner Kehagana Christian Rogg minche Kehanomo Keshi Amale Kefiti Moriemo Kebu Adafitswaa ayelihe yebiane ananu bajashin lemi.
Wie ene ye World Press Freedom Day ni femo shishin ye Ghana na wie keko Adafitswaa shemomlin anokwa yeli keke monima kemlin shifimo efele fang ake ananu bajano shemoi niji anokwa yeli ehi ajogban ke ha ke monima ke hiwalewu ni eha ma na himo ke yeli ya Adafitswaa kuwele humlin
are not immune from some of the challenges that we're seeing and some of the changes in the media landscape. And what that means is that our societies are increasingly susceptible to misinformation and to disinformation. We're a very difficult period that all of our countries have gone through, namely COVID, has seen just how much false information was spreading. Some of it because people were worried and anxious, but some of it also was quite deliberate in terms of scaring people, in terms of blaming people. And now, with the benefit of a few years having come out of that period, we actually realized just how much of that information was wrong and was spread without good foundations at the time. But what this shows is that digital technologies have not just transformed how information is produced and how it is shared, but alongside that opportunity that has come with digital technologies, we're also seeing the downside of that trend, the misinformation and disinformation that I've mentioned. But also we're seeing growing pressure and threats towards journalists, and we're seeing an erosion of public trusts as a result. And we're seeing that what could be isolated incidents ultimately amount to trends that can weaken democratic processes, that can lead to the shrinkage of civic space, and that can breed tensions and that can breed even violence if they're not addressed. Now, I said that this is something we're facing globally, and I gave the example of COVID, but when you just look at it more specifically in terms of the theme for this year, the theme of peace and tackling violence, that we also see in our countries.
Attorney General Sekwelo Justice Sremsai Ewie Kekosajin needs Neo National Food Buffer Stock Company Sanehi.
The former Attorney General, well, he's now a practicing private practitioner, so he's earning his fees. And I will not be the one to take money out of the pocket of the lawyer. But I think he shouldn't be too dramatic about this. I spoke with him in the court on Hanan in particular, and he made some requests, some of which have been granted, others may be granted in the future, and others have been refused. When Hanan was sent to Bioko, he was supposed to just be interrogated immediately, then he will be discharged. But he fell sick and was taken to the hospital. And when he came back, instead of his lawyers, the former Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, Attorney General, to come so that interrogation would be done, he chose to rather be granting interview in his office and in the media and calling into radio programs to say things that he knows are wrong and are not true. I mean, he said their time they used to assign cases to you cannot just come to court when you have fresh evidence in a criminal trial and start throwing in the evidence.
That's what I'm asking about the status.
So you need to first interrogate and hear from the accused person in respect of those new fresh evidence that you gathered. That will inform your final decision whether to go ahead and charge the person or not. But to say that fresh evidence is not available merely because you don't have it. It's completely improper and unethical.
But one thing that he also said is that you are abusing the president because during his time, the way and manner his persons were being treated is not the same way.
Those of you who were in court, when we were withdrawing the charges, he was on our side. He even told the judge that, so in the courtroom, he understood and did not object to anything that happened. I was surprised for him when I saw him on radio and TV, making it look like he wasn't. In fact, the other counsel was actually pointing to the two of us that, yes, we were official politicians and he is not, so he has the right to complain. And he was telling the other lawyer not to complain because this is normal. So to come out and make it, and in any case, haven't we seen, has he not done this before? Is it improper to withdraw charges?
Walongmalonupa ke ha Ghana Medical Association Dr. Richard Selome ewie ake datre foi ni gbejepo ye wolongpache ajiman bedu akosa ni amingbele mom liye enagbeye semowie mo ike jamo ike nye ni amingbele mo ni jepo ese
wani amingbele mo kenko Charles emisagbele ehi emuna ake oblan wegbele kenye atramo ajofui alo hit and run oshira ibaye oflonyo no afine jeble ofemo ye hilacha moye kechono no ku alo association ne ebi sani ye no hewo ni acheda trefo ni heyom ni agbe yepoten bemli ni amewo hye ake ebanya egba da trefo ni anitrumo ana nesa etoto amehwehwehwe namo
so named, which we find unfortunate. What has happened is some of them, their social media is being flooded with threats. Some are being sent messages, some are being called various things. And just your name being out there. Imagine you go through this process. Even if they were wrong and they are even disciplined and they get back to work, this burden stays on them forever. It has implications for their practice, their mental health, and others. And that is why we are saying, even if they've done wrong, there are better ways of handling this without necessarily having to put them. That is why even criminals, we cover their faces. Once people were caught stabbing and killing, murdering people, sometimes we cover their faces when we put their pictures out there. And sometimes we don't name them. In court, sometimes we say exhibit this, Mr. X, and all that. You can proceed without having to do that.
Hewale pakpa na moku yemla no ewo amenye ni amechu yegbeli emni do ke amenichu modade ashweshran
ye amekeni amrang ye amekeni amlingbele loe ashramomin bemli ni emanomi ake ehia ni sake abuwalai ahe ni achuni yegbe ni sano keji ebalehi wale pakpa namo.
We are saying that it is beyond just the facility. It is the individuals. And please, if you are a medical professional and you are tired of the work, probably you have to, you can resign. I'm telling you. Ghana will survive.
Yes, Ajinko Kumei Amliye, Rent Control Department ewie ake echencho amekeme ni kwa tertiary ni kasemo he wo he alo hostels kebolima abana shramo ni amekwe ni amekwe no ni amesusuo ake chunyomo wo drawale ni school bi wo mi.
Acting Rent Commissioner Frederick Opoku Chomle na nefane ba wa kejaje saji ni ko chuhaimo kejarai ahe ni eha school biye.
The Viking hostel is the alumni and whatever project with the school, and it's a private thing, not the University of Ghana's property. And you know, they were one bedroom with AC 110,000 Ghana. How? On University of Ghana campus. So shameful. So shameful. And I'm surprised those who have sat down for this illegality to perpetuate, the exploitation to happen. They should bow their heads in shame today. We are calling them next week. all the hostel facilities from Greater Accra. I'm writing to them today and tomorrow, so that we can get write to them and get them here and sit down with them, let them know what has gone wrong, see how they can review it, possibly let them know that they have acted illegally.
Kiawoncha Shemoy ano Senator Lokeha Investigative Committee aloni amling belemoku wolong peche ajiman bedu akosa ebo amralo ekoko ni amekwe ni ake ameni amling belemo achuni neye mu shi akagmehe ni ewu mulutamo ekokome
Area mohe eba fata committee alo kuweni amling belemo ni ana Keje Charles Amy Sagbeli amling wolong peche akosa fele fang ake eba hiani yana agba ni yano ye Ghana na hiwale papa na mogbeni amling ni wushiake esa ni sanene afe ni amling belemoko ni abagmehe yegbeting na chun hinin.
We believe that this was not the first time an event like this has happened. Committee reports were done and the reports collected registered by the Medical and Dental Council. And therefore, you breached your duty of care.
Wabafo we ke wokuwo se woke shika ke joili saje baba hani kachiri
How would you some look fast? Baba, me again. Let's go, Yale. Me call you, ma'am. Who hear me? Me and sent my friend doctor when I'm crossing over. See what we swear. She has malaria. Hey, malaria. Oh, what they say with the router? Me copy the absence. A drone a friend router mix. Yeah, come malaria draw. And running so Gap trap and the draw ku abaso body ase wabo ruta mixture abaso ruta natural products no ne ruta mixture ya e dikutie atiri ruta tonic and the ruta life wa e huhuru e feel slide body e feel nipadua mu na support immune system no ruta de obi ase ye FDA age dwede nkra to ya tu
Shidak plejo no ake okuwo yobe ye Mbn Adafitswaa no renu wakabaji shishi ye shika ke joyili sajam niye Ghana eto gbajano hi eha asset regulations alo kudomo kachimo buina ni ebunu chumokuyi ahi ni ameka he ni bife amewumi ye crypto ni chumogbini.
Deputy Director General Geha Securities and Exchange Commission SEC Owula Mensa Thompson Chomling Ake Virtual Assets ke Service Providers Act 2025 Chimoni bi fe New York cryptocurrency ke hiwoni bi ano ni na ano ni ewie.
The SEC and the Central Bank has what we call the Virtual Asset Coordinating Committee. It's provided for under Section 5 of the Virtual Asset Service Providers Act. The job of the Coordinating Committee, which I co-chair with the Central Bank rep, is to ensure that what the SEC is doing, what the Bank of Ghana is doing, all integrate properly and there's proper coordination and efficiency in the implementation of the Virtual Asset Service Providers Act. There is no lacuna in virtual assets. Every activity is regulated. So under the framework, we've made provision for what we call innovative virtual assets, which is virtual assets that do not fall clearly under Bank of Ghana jurisdiction and ones that do not fall clearly under SEC jurisdiction. And how we treat it is this, and that's the job of the coordinating committee. We've set the rules. So for example, if the activity looks more like it has a bit of, SEC jurisdiction and small and more of Bank of Ghana jurisdiction, the SEC and the Bank of Ghana will agree. The Bank of Ghana will license and regulate, but will give the SEC visibility over the activity. If the activity is also, let's say, 30%, Bank of Ghana, but 70% SEC, then we both agree the SEC will license and regulate, but they will provide visibility to the central bank to also have visibility. So there's no lacuna. We've covered that clearly in the law by setting up the coordinating committee to coordinate some of these activities and plug all those gaps that criminals could exploit.
Coalition of Unemployed Agricultural Colleges Graduates ha amralo egbi nyomake ekome negbele shikagbe ke ha amehemo ke nichumomiwo ke je nakae ameba atwala chensi.
Ke Unemployed Veterinary Officers Mohammed Abubakar Sadiq ke for amralo ehie no ya ke mlano ekwabani bafe ni ebadamo amesani amni ke chuhe ni ihame.
Of these concerns, we respectfully call on His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Honorable Eric Opoku, and the Minister for Finance, Honorable Dr. Kessel Atto-Forson, to urgently grant immediate financial clearance to the recruitment of all qualified agricultural graduates, complete the deployment of the remaining 50% of previous promised officers, transition from temporary voluntary arrangements to permanent employment, address operational insufficiencies with the Feed Ghana program, ensure equity in recruitment as seen in education and health sectors. We wish to state clearly that while we initially supported this voluntary service, arrangement due to economic constraints, we can no longer sustain this model.
Baba for ishkome ko nke woko wose woko here ba chomanse koni wa kono nete no ye jeme.
Say about the heartbeat of entertainment and one the ultimate show with AJ Barker. Anne and paying for say Trini and Dawa, ye monchain. Yana what the hottest trend, the GCJs. Exclusive interview with your favorite celebrity and NASA influencer. And then you best say the asa I will show you so HINAS. Kaina will say if every day exactly 4 p.m. the ultimate show with AJ Barker is always a vibe.
The Ultimate Show, this and every Friday at 4 p.m. only on MBN TV. MBN, the gospel, news and entertainment.
Lelo akabaje shishi kegbe na yewo na gbese mo niji manse sajinye amani abo efele fang ake rescuers menta o me ba fe nyuma nite hiking alo gonko ye Indonesia Mount Dukono volcano ni kumolebi neno.
Mune shime pa ukoko jime ni ekpeleke shisheshe kajegon yiting. Onupa ike kumlimbi nyomai enyo ni amemlifa je Singapore te hiking ya gon tamo volcano no ya miake banko ye ni anyono ke mune. Gon nigba iji doko no kumo bemli ni atrangmaji pawo community nyomai edweke ekome nyeso ni noha laso kapiti ifa kete ngweng. Take volcanological survey keha Indonesia chon. Doko no gon ne fata Indonesia volcano babahohi ni hikers kegbefaloi